Hey everyone, my name is Tony and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the Clifford Dining Table. We're modeling this with Artisan, specifically the sculptural base shape that this table has. So in this video, we're going to dive into the basics of Artisan 2. Let's dive in. So we're going to start off by modeling the Clifford Dining Table. As you can see, there's a round and a rectangular version of this table. But the one thing they have in common is the sculptural solid walnut base. Once again, this is fairly easy to model with Artisan. And the hope for this video is to start with something basic and then we'll move on to something a little more advanced. As always, you want to start off by scaling your reference image. So first thing, you always want to bring in the image, explode, and then group. Now 76 centimeters is somewhere close to 29.9, so let's say 30 inches. And then you want to use the tape measuring tool, reference that line. Then you want to type in 30 inches and confirm to resize. Let's just move this to the center. Now we can start to model this base. So I added a few dimensions just to help us to stay accurate and to get a sense of proportions. And we're going to start with the rectangle tool. Bring it to the center of this line, hit Control to model from the center, to create from the center, and let's set this on the blue axis. And we're going to set this to 5.5 by 2.5 inches. So if we look on the other side, we got something like that, which is the same thickness here. Just move this down to the bottom. Now from here, we're going to do something called quad-based modeling, which is really the core of Artisan 2. Now quad-based modeling is a workflow where your model is built primarily on four-sided faces. And I'm going to show you how this works. For example, we have our square. I'm going to activate Artisan mode so we can have access to all of these tools. And then I'm going to press P to activate extrude. I'm going to extrude this up to that reference line, and then we'll do it again to that line, and we'll end right here at the very top. And next, what I'm going to do is push, pull, and extrude this also all the way out to here. So this is pretty much our low poly shape. So from here, we're going to activate Subdivide and Smooth. As you can see, this is pretty good result, but not as close to our reference shape on our image. You can see we need a little bit more control where the curves happen towards the end of the shape. And this means we need to add a little bit more subdivision in order to get this right. So in order to add a few more subdivisions, we can use the loop tool to add quad-based edge loops. So we're going to add one right here towards the end, and we'll do the same on the other spot. And we'll actually leave this one as is. We'll add one more in the middle here and another one in the middle there. So eventually, when we add more subdivision, we'll end up with something like this. Now, since the top portion is what's going to make contact with the actual on the top, we're going to inset part of this in. As you can see, all of this is operating to keep a quad-based model. You can also press Alt to switch between the different modes, so pick the one that best suits your object. And when we subdivide and smooth again, you can see that we're pretty close to our final result. Now if you look closely, we have 3 separate legs. I'm going to rotate this using this midpoint as a reference. Hit Control to make a copy. I'm going to rotate this 120 degrees. And we're going to times it by 2 to create the other copy. Keep in mind, these are not a component, and while they are pretty similar, the placement of this mid portion is different between the 3. So I'm going to make my selection to move that portion down up to here. We'll go on to this copy and we'll bring this down. So we end up with something like that. So our base is pretty much close to finished. Let's just move a copy over, and now we can start to trace over the tabletop with the rectangle tool and move the edges to make sure it matches profile. Then we can rotate from the center move it down, and then we can pull this up to 1.5 inches. To add a point, use the tape measuring tool, and we're going to hit Control to switch from guidelines to guide point. And we'll double click add a point. So we'll position that point at the very center. So the midpoint is going to connect everything together. I'm going to copy, make a component out of these, and paste in place that midpoint. Now, if you take a look at our reference image at the corners, you can see that the corners are slightly rounded, and we can guess that and do that pretty easy with Bevel. So we'll go into that group, pre-select our 4 edges, and activate Bevel. We'll do 3 inches, 18 segments, which we don't need, so I'm going to press the down key to bring that down to 10 segments. We'll repeat the same at the bottom. Activate Bevel again. This time we'll go pretty close to the top at 1.5 inches. And now we'll do the same to the very top, right? This can be somewhere around 1/4 inch. And then we'll give us something like that, which I believe is very close to our rough image. Now, before I forget, let's also inset the bottom because it's going to make contact with the base ring or the floor. And as we come towards the end, we'll also set everything so that we can create the other types of table. This includes the round dining table as well as the longer rectangular table. So now we can finalize our model, and we'll start with the sculptural base. I'll go ahead and add a 3-level subdivide and smooth, so we can turn that low poly to a high poly mesh. So next we can finish off our circle ring base. I'm just going to offset this in to match the sculptural piece, push pull by 1/2 inch, and repeat Bevel to give it the round edges. And one last final detail, we're going to hide the edges on our sculptural piece. Just select and toggle Artisan's display edges. And we'll end up with a pretty clean model like this. And that pretty much does it for our table. Now let's repeat the same workflow to create the longer dining table and to finish off the other one, and we'll end up with something like this. So now for the very last step, we're going to add the materials. So I'm going to drag in my walnut texture, explode, and then right click to disable projected. Use the paint bucket tool, sample my texture, and apply to my sculptural piece. And as you can see, it doesn't look all that well, which is why we're going to use the Sketch UV extension to properly map this on our object. So simply make your selection, activate Sketch UV, right click, and we're going to try box mapping. As you can see, it fits pretty well for this object. And we'll repeat this to the rest of the other shapes. For our ring base, we're going to use a metal material. We'll repeat the same workflow for our marble tabletop. With our materials applied, we end up with something like this. And this is our final result after doing a little bit of adjustment to the materials in SketchUp. This is one with the tempered glass, and this one with a solid top. And that's going to be all for this video. Hopefully this tutorial is full of tips that you can use when modeling with Artisan in SketchUp. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.